Be prepared for highly offensive language from the start and throughout, and adult and sexual themes.
It's nice and quiet, shh, shh, but soon again, shh, starts another big riot. You blow a fuse, sing boom, the damn cuts loose, sing boom, so what's the use? Wow, I'm falling in love.
What a star of the show. Just when you think it's all calming down and people are getting along in the Big Brother house, another riot begins and we love it. Oh, we love it. Oh, give myself an headache from all the jumping up and down. The UK and US housemates woke up friends and once again they've gone to bed enemies. Tonight we're going to be trying to find out why some of our housemates are so fiery as we gaze up to the stars. The stars. It's lovely, it's lovely. But who knows the stars like no one else? Well, he's also our first panellist tonight. He loves the stars and celebrities and astrology, and I think he loves me because I love him. It's Russell Grant! Look! I love him. Next up, she's the original talent show judge with a tongue that would whip Simon Cowell into shape. It's Jen O'Nina Mishkov! Beautiful throw. Love it. My next guest likes to keep it real, apart from when it comes to two certain things. Is Towie's Georgia Katsulu! And finally, the heat is on. It's Michelle Heaton! I've been here too long, the jokes are just going downhill every day. It's terrible.
That's the best joke ever.
Thank you. Thank you. All right, let's get down to business. In tonight's episode, the housemates all woke up with the joys of spring, but once the tasks begun, things started to turn very sour very quickly, especially after this.
I had rotten cheese in my vagina.
I mean... It's a casual Thursday. Do you know what? I don't need that on a Thursday. Nina, I'm going to come to you because I know you love that.
Thank you.
How do you think the housemates handled the slinky slop task?
Well, first off, Chloe Jasmine wept. You know,
Oh, the way.
just so predictable. I mean, I actually would have wanted to upend something over her myself. I noticed that the women were tougher than the men. It was the men that threw up into their trousers.
Bobby Davro's faces was just priceless.
But interestingly...
I was doing a gurning contest.
Interestingly, Farrah was very stoical. Did you notice that?
She was.
She's in that zone and she's obviously come to some kind of decision that she's just going to...
Do it.
She's just going to do it. So I thought that she was really tough with it. Very, very good.
Compliment for Farrah there. If we had the budget, we'd have another cannon, but we ain't. Russell, are you surprised they all did that task? They all done it?
Except for my bestest buddy, Janice.
Oh, yeah, Janice, bless her. She couldn't do
Clever
it.
Janice, she got out of it.
I know. Well, it was due to health reasons.
Was it due to
Janice
health
weren't allowed to do that.
reasons?
I don't know, but we're not going there.
Is she allergic to fish?
She might be
It was
allergic
the
to
fish.
fish. She might be
Or
allergic to
cheese.
tofu.
She put it in the other bucket.
And let's be fair, it might be in Janice's contract that she doesn't want cheese in her vagina. So, I've just put it out there. Let's just say it. But listen, that was a good task. I did like that one, but it was the price of truth task that really turned up the heat in the house.
Oh, yes.
There was a good old Farrah bashing, as per usual. She was said to be, amongst others, least trustworthy, least talented and most vile. Now, Michelle, were you surprised that she got them thrown at her?
I'm surprised she didn't get more, to be honest. I mean, like, look, let's be real here. She did deserve all those titles, except one. I was really surprised about the boring one.
Yeah.
I thought James took a really wimpy way out there and called her boring for no particular reason whatsoever. Instead of really picking on what he should have done was probably, I hate to say it, I don't know, someone like Sherry, yeah.
Sherry.
Yeah, I mean, really the most boring is not somebody who's really entertaining, which is Farrah, yeah.
George, are you surprised at how well Farrah took it?
Do you know what? I actually am really, really surprised because if that was me and everyone was telling me like how bad I am and I got all this stuff, I'd probably like had a princess tantrum drop and walked off. Like,
We've all seen you in Towie, babe.
I mean,
we know.
I'm known for it, but I'd have like kicked my feet and walked off. Like I'd be fuming. So I do think she took it quite well. And even if she was upset, she wouldn't show she's upset. You know what she's like.
One thing that I think maybe did get to her a little bit, she was also named least popular.
Yeah.
Russell, do you think deep down, I don't know if you agree, but I think I saw that she was a bit like, Look, I think that affected her a bit, Russell.
Well, having seen her chart, which we'll talk about
yes,
later...
we will. We love a chart.
We do. The more you throw at this girl, the tougher she gets.
Yeah. And in your opinion, I know there's a lot of things she says I don't agree with, but is that a good trait in someone, do you think?
Well, because of... I keep going back to the chart because we know what's going to happen, don't we? But it is, because, you see, take Farrah out the house... Where's your entertainment?
True.
Where's the show? It'll be you and I dancing.
Gotta say, he's back after his hit replacement. He's back. We missed you. Look at him. What did you want to say?
I think Farrah has been the star of the show from the start. She's absolutely brilliant. You know, we've got to keep her in there, right? Everyone's at her at the moment, but she's so tough as a character. She will stay in there.
I'm so happy he's back. I am. I'm so over the moon you're back. I love him so much. Let me move on to Janice, because she was named most manipulative by Tash and self-obsessed by James. So, Russell, I'm going to come back to you. She's your mate, do you agree?
She's my mate. I worked with her in LA, and what you see is what you get. I love Janice Dickinson so much. I mean... If you take a picture of Angelina Jolie as Maleficent, you have Maleficent's mother. And I just love her. But you see, I don't see her as manipulative. I see her as straight down the line.
Yeah.
And she's a toughie. And, I mean, Janice, when you know her like I do, you see the real person.
The real Janice.
It is a strange thing to call her manipulative.
Well, Nina, you've dished it out before on the telly. I mean, would you call her manipulative?
No, I wouldn't call her manipulative. I agree with Russell in that she responds. She appears barking mad, to be perfectly honest, and probably she is. But she is very. She's got great empathy, and she responds to anybody. She responds to Chloe Jasmine. She responds. You know, she's very quick and intuitive.
Right.
Something.
Yeah,
she's on her own planet, and you wouldn't want to visit it for very long. Sorry, Russell, but you wouldn't.
Maybe a little weekend.
A little weekend.
I spent a weekend
but-
on it,
but-
and I came back like Janice.
You see,
Fabulous.
for me, the manipulative one in the whole house that's manipulating every situation is Jenna.
Well, we are going to be getting on to Jenna in a minute, but just bringing it back to Janice. Janice actually called Tash most two-faced.
I agree!
Go on. Hang on, he's got his Mel B bow tie on. Go on.
No, absolutely, 100%. She's so two-faced. She says she keeps trying to make the peace and keeps going to them and being nice. Behind their back, she's not only getting the knife, she's getting the full kitchen knife set and stabbing it right in.
George, what are you making of that? Is Natasha
I've got to
two-faced?
disagree with her. I really like her.
I
like
can't
Tash?
I think-
stand her.
really?
I loathe her.
Oh!
She's a
Hold up.
We've got a debate going on here.
Yeah, come on, I want to hear it.
She is two-faced, and the thing about Natasha, the interesting thing about Natasha is that she's obviously been able to get her own way all her life. Because she said a couple of nights ago, she said, not even my dad speaks to me like that. And if she's not been disciplined and guided and criticised, she wants to get her own way. I mean, when you saw her after that bottle of red wine, my God, you wouldn't want to stand between her and a bottle of red wine that night.
Right, Michelle.
Don't ask me anything.
I've got to ask you.
I
You've
don't
got your
want
head
to
in your
answer
hands.
it because
What do you
I'm
make
going to see
of
her afterwards.
Janice calling Natasha two-faced?
I wouldn't say Natasha's two-faced, no. But listen, obviously, Natasha
I just want to
definitely
say, for the
has.
record, I really like Natasha.
You know,
I think she's a
I think
nice girl.
Natasha's coming up, right?
I can see both sides.
I totally get
coming
where
here.
people are coming from, because I do think, like she's a proper feisty, strong, confident woman. And I also wouldn't like to be on the wrong side of Natasha, because I think that she beat me to a pulp. But I don't
that's
think that
interesting, yeah.
two-faced would be the word that I call her at all.
Except
not
if she's
at all.
been very
I think
nice.
that she's doing really
if
well
she
in
and
the
Janice
house.
have been very nice and talking to each other, then for her to turn on Janice would mean that Janice would think she's two-faced. Because if they've not fallen out particularly, and they've had decent conversations and got on together, and then suddenly out of nowhere comes you're
this, you're that.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Well,
but
listen,
imagine living in the house, like, I think she's kept herself quite sane, because I'd have gone psycho by now. And I think she's a real woman. Like, she's just real, isn't she? Like, there's no drama. Like, she ain't Queen Bee. I just think, yeah, some people call it, like, two-faced, but I just love her. I think she's real.
Well, on that note, before any fights break out on the actual panel, we're going to be talking to them a bit later on about that and tomorrow's fake eviction. But for now, give them a little clap. What a panel! After the break, they always speak the truth. The Speakmans are our Sykes on the sofa tonight. We're going to be looking into the hierarchy in the house. But now, this time tomorrow, Big Brother will be turned on its head as two of our housemates enter the secret house. But all is not as it seems, because for the first time ever, the main house will know they're being watched. So, who goes in?
You decide!
Here we are!
This week, Bobby, Farah, Gail, Jenna and Stevie and Chloe Jasmine all face the public vote. Which two housemates would you like to fake evict? From a landline, call 090 20 44 24 and add the number of the housemate you want to fake evict. From a mobile, call 6 44 24 and add the number of the housemate you want to fake evict. For Bobby, add 02. For Farah, add 05. For Gail, add 06. For Jenna, add 09. For Stevie and Chloe Jasmine, add 13. Calls to the long number will cost 50p plus your network access charge. Calls to the short number will cost 50p. Or you can vote via the Big Brother app, where 2 votes will cost you 99p. Voting closes in Friday's eviction show. If you're watching on catch up after that or outside the UK, please don't vote. Votes cast after lines close won't count. You can find terms on the Big Brother website.
Welcome back to Celebrity Big Brother's Bet on the Side. Still to come, our favourite astrologist, Russell Grant, is going to be deciphering our celebrity housemates' birth charts to reveal the truth behind Justin's connection. Casual fan. But first, it is time for tomorrow's headlines in today's news. Housemates were woken up at 9:23 a.m. by the gentle strains of a fat man. Not like that, not like that. It's the dance-off. Have a look.
Oh my God, I need this. Go. Oh my God, I need this. Oh my God, I'm sorry.
Sherry, Bobby and Janice did not make it to the dance floor in time and so will not receive any points. All other housemates will receive 20 points.
Ooh. Thank you.
I'm just dying at Janice. Janice is like... giving it. She loves it. Later on at 11:35, Jenna had a bit of a moan to Farah about someone giving her the evil eye. Any guesses? Any guesses? You've guessed it.
So I talked to Natasha last night.
Cool.
Irritated me even more.
Yeah, you know.
Like, cause she always like tries to like wiggle her way out.
Because she is like that.
Yeah. And
she's used that in her life.
It's like,
You
just
can tell.
own up to your bullshit, girl. Like, if you're gonna be scandalous, she's like, oh, I felt bad all day.
Oh.
I was crushed. It literally, our situation made me cry. I'm like, yeah, you really let that on.
Well, at 1:12, Jenna's still not happy about Natasha's funny looks, but Austin thinks he knows what Natasha's problem is.
There's skullduggery going on everywhere.
Yeah,
There's skullduggery going on everywhere.
Hate that she knows she does stuff, but, well, she then denies it. You know,
Well,
it's like...
okay, yeah, I'm paying close attention.
Watch
You know.
her in the next thing, how she glares and rolls.
Well, I hope it's directed so I can watch it.
Resting bitch face.
Huh?
Just means like when you're not even meaning to, make a rude face, you do.
Oh.
Which isn't, it's not like an offensive term, if you just, it's just the way your face sits.
Well, I said I can't do it at all because there's so much Botox on my face, I can't move my eyes.
We've all been there. We've all been there. Nina ain't.
Not me.
Oh, we are.
You can see not me.
But at 2:06, Big Brother gathered the housemates with the latest and most emotional part of the task so far. Call of Duty.
In front of you all is a phone. In a moment, the phone will start ringing, and all you have to do to earn points is not pick it up.
Okay.
On the other end of the phone, and waiting to talk to you, are your friends and family. Austin, your husband Jake will be waiting to speak to you. Farah, your dad Michael will be waiting to speak to you. James, your granddad Tony will be waiting to speak to you. Natasha, your fiance Richie will be waiting to speak to you. Gail, your friend Alex will be waiting to speak to you. If you answer the phone, you will lose any points that you have earned in this challenge for your entire team. The phone will start ringing in 3, 2, 1.
And that's all you're getting! They were looking, they were like, and that was today's news! All right, hang on. Shall we have a look? Go on then, let's have a look.
As no housemates answered the phone line has been cut off on your friends and families.
I take it I've been dumped because that was my mate on the phone.
No.
It's going to be all right.
Anyway, it's fine.
It was just whoever picked up first, promise you.
It's fine. It's cool.
He's been watching every day and thinking I am proud of my women, and your kids have been watching, and you're awesome. And you can just, it's like he was, I could feel him. So
You can see him in a few weeks. So much better than a phone call.
More than 80% of communication is bodily.
I know, but
You know, he's
They're
my
all
strength.
fine. And you're your strength. You are very strong. Trust me.
But it's good to watch, isn't it? It's good. Listen, who fancies a little look inside the minds of our celebrity housemates? Yeah. Well, you know what? It's time for... Give it up for the Speak You all right, Nick? Are you all right?
Yeah.
Oh, I love it. Although I've got to say, we're not actually on the sofa. It says psych on the sofa, but we're standing because we're rebels. We're rebels today, is what we do. We've got a nice little castle behind us. You're going to be talking to me about reality royalty.
That's right.
Is that right?
Yeah.
So let's get started. I mean, this is what we've got going on. You've divided everyone into what you think they're part of the royal family, is that right?
Yeah, well, there's been so much conflict in the house, and there's loads of people, well, there's quite a lot of people who are fighting to be heard, and it's like, it's all about me. And so what we wanted to do was use the original sort of reality theme and look at who, as in the sort of hierarchy of the house, is actually the sort of reality royalty within the house.
Yeah, because Janice, you know, she always says, I'm the queen of reality.
Yep, she said that.
So
a
I'm
few times.
guessing she's here. Am I
Well,
right?
do you know what? You would think that. And obviously she is the queen of reality outside of the house, but in this house, she's losing the crown.
Oh!
Yes.
Farah!
You see, what you've got to consider is that Farah made her name in reality by being controversial.
Yeah, that's
and she's
true.
ramping it up in the house, isn't she?
But you've got a little Janice here.
Yeah, I mean, Janice...
Well, she's always a queen, isn't she? Yeah.
Come on, please.
Out of respect for Janice. But, I mean, Farah is coming over as, you know, really the strongest character in the house, but for controversial reasons.
Yeah.
However, I mean, we see this sort of side of it that's so harsh and so hard, but it was quite interesting to watch when they were doing the face-to-face nominations, that Farah was actually rocking backwards and forwards. Every time somebody said something negative, she was rocking.
What's that mean?
Well, that means that she's stressed, and it's a soothing. It's a soothing movement that actually goes back to being rocked as a child, and you know, helping her get over the stress. So Bobby did actually get to her.
You think there's maybe a bit more underneath then?
Yeah, and in fact, we just saw her crying when she said,
when her
who was it? Her dad was on the
phone.
phone. We actually saw her put her head down. So, you know, I think she even shed a tear.
That's
so she does get
interesting.
emotions.
And do you know what else as well? You remember, obviously, we did the royalty task last week as well. This wasn't the structure, was it? Like, with them two up here.
No.
I'm quite keen to see who the king is. Have we got any guesses?
Austin!
Yes!
Yes! Is it Austin? You're joking.
Yeah.
It's Austin! It is Austin! Right, so we've got Austin as the king.
Yeah.
Why is he the king in
Because
there?
he's got a foot in both camps. You know, he's going to the UK saying, I'm on your side, and then he's with the USA gang and saying, look, you know, I know I'm with them, but when it comes down to it, I'm all Team USA.
But talking of Austin, he's the king of the house, but he's involved in quite a lot of storylines, isn't he? Like, who's the real Austin?
But you know what? The fact that he's in a lot of storylines is because he is the king of reality.
Yeah,
I mean, you know,
he's in every one.
He's in
You know,
every
and
one.
you've got the guy there. He is. You know, Gail. I feel so sorry for you. I'm going to shave my hair off for you. And the day after, he's putting up.
He's nominated her.
I know. But I just think, you know, you're asking who is the real Austin in that house. He is the king of reality. He is playing his viewers and he's playing his people.
Oh, that's quite interesting. Let's have a little look at the prince and princess. Any guesses?
Stevie and Chloe.
Yes.
You're joking. It's Stevie and Chloe! They're good. Have you seen this ball?
Peeking.
So why are they the prince and princess? Because they were the prince and princess, weren't they?
They were, but they are because they know.
Well, she actually wears a tiara.
Well,
I mean...
Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, she is sort of carrying that princess role all the time. But what's really interesting is that because this is reality TV, and this is why particularly Stevie is the prince, is that we saw him yesterday or the day before actually sat outside on his own speaking to Big Brother.
Yes!
You know, and this was like, he knew, you know, there was a master plan in that. He wasn't just sort of talking to himself quietly. He was articulating himself, looking to the camera.
Sympathy vote.
Sympathy vote.
Well, talking of voting, I mean, how strong would these two be if they weren't in a couple? Because, you know, we've seen a bit of separation, haven't we, with this task. How do you think they'd work apart?
I actually think that that Chloe would actually fall apart, whereas I think Stevie, yeah, he would come into his own. And you know what? Fantastic reality star, because you can see that he is so desperate to say something to Chloe, like, come on, belt up, love. This is,
Do you know what? Let's take a quick look at them from tonight's show.
I think I might grow to like this.
What?
Being in bed with Bob every night.
Oh, really? Well, you see, Chloe, this person that we don't know, we didn't know him.
I don't know why this person that we don't know would say that to offend me somehow.
Well, no, because he's
chatting away in the corner while I'm trying to sleep and I'm not feeling so great.
Chloe.
She's fine.
I'm joking.
Great. I found it really funny as well.
Go to bed.
It's like, give me the cold shoulder.
So, looking at that clip with what you've just said, it sort of makes sense. Do you think he quite enjoyed it?
You know, it was nice to see him have a joke, and it's like, I've got a bit of freedom finally, you know?
He was loving it. I tell you what, I think he's going to be really sad when this bit's over and he's going to have to go back to kind of holding her hand and guiding her through.
Oh, Eva's going in tonight. We're going to be showing you what happened when they got back together a bit later on. But let's move on to the Royal Advisor. Royal Advisor, any guesses? Scoop. Let's take a look.
No, it's not. It's not Scoop.
It's Jenna!
Yeah. You see, I suppose... I suppose it's royal advisor / royal manipulator.
Oh, hang on, hold up. Royal manipulator. Okay.
The royal advisor is supposed to give information to the royal family, but what she's doing, she's taking that information, she's changing it, manipulating it for her own gain and passing it on. And you know, and we would also call her the royal bullet maker because she makes the bullets and she passes them to Farah and she fires them.
Royal advisor to the Queen. Now you understand it. I'm getting it. Let's move on to the Duke. Any guesses? Duke, anyone? James! It is James here! Go on, girl. So why's James the Duke?
We've given James the position of the Duke because he's liked by everybody generally in the house except for Farah, but then hey-ho.
Yeah.
But he is liked and he's really fair, he's a gent, and he's, you know, he just sort of speaks with everybody. He speaks his mind, but he does it in a very kind and articulate way. And for that reason, you know, I actually think he's being himself and he's not playing a game. However, even though it's sort of royalty, I do think that he is being real because he's just being himself.
Well, obviously every Duke needs a Duchess, so who have we got as the Duchess? Natasha's the Duchess.
And let me tell you why we've chosen
You
Natasha.
tell me what. You tell me what. She's going in.
I am going in.
Go on, girl.
Let me tell you about Tash. So I heard earlier that the panel was saying that they thought that she was being two-faced. I actually think that Tash is doing great reality royalty here because I know that Tash is a fiery soul and she could really kick off royally. However, she's actually holding it back and she's being quite polite. She is saying what she thinks and she's saying what other people think, actually. She's kind of the voice of the people. But she's trying to make peace with everybody. She doesn't want to fall out with anybody in the house. You can see that she wants some calm and some peace. But I actually think she's doing a great job at speaking her mind and holding it together.
And do you know what? She's put a marker down and she said, right, if you're going to attack me, you're going to get it back.
You're going to get it back.
Yeah.
And that's the best way to be in there.
Absolutely.
If you can't take it, don't dish it out. Let's take a look at the royal staff. So we've got Sherry... Well, this is really interesting. We've got Sherry, Bobby and Gal, but Sherry and Bobby in the task were king and queen.
That's right, yeah.
But in reality terms, they're just the staff. So talk to me, why?
Well, I've got to be honest, we're going to promote them a little bit now because they have been a little bit under the radar up until just very recently. Particularly Bobby, who I'm now I think I'm going to promote him to the Earl of Justice. Yes, he was a little bit hard, thank you, but he was a little bit hard. But, you know, he was actually speaking for everybody. I think he's actually... What he did was more a fatherly way of speaking to Farah, saying, look, we're trying to be... We're all trying to tell you, please listen. He didn't swear, he didn't shout, he didn't lose his temper. He spoke in a really benevolent, kind, fatherly way to help Farah to say... I think it was just a cry for help. Look, please listen. I don't think it was done maliciously. So, in any way, I think Sherry and Gail are fabulous. They're both really lovely, but they are a little bit under the radar because we've got all these strong
all of this going
royalty going on here.
Well, that only leaves one more person as the house jester. Is Scoop! Scoop's on in there. We're running out of time, but you know
we had bigger expectations of Scoop. They voted for him. They made him. They made him the president, and nothing really happened. Nothing happened. No one listened to him, you know. And
but when he starts going for it, everyone's like, Scoop, Scoop.
He makes a lot of noise, but nobody really listens. But he's a fun guy.
I've absolutely loved this. I'm not even going to lie. I might even put this on my dressing room wall. Give it up for the Spegman! I love that. Coming up, we get all starry-eyed with astrology heavyweight Russell Grant as we gaze into our celebrity housemates' birth charts to find out whether Clovey really are as compatible as they like to make out. And by the looks of this, they do like to make out.
I adore you.
I love you.
That was like Channel 5 late night. Yes, gone mad. But is it all too good to be true? Stay tuned. You do not want to miss that. But first, I want to hear from you. So give me a bell on my 24-hour bots hotline on 0333 577 779 and let me know what you're thinking about the show. Anything, though, from the fake evictions, who you like, who you can't wait to see the back of. Anything, babe, anything. And I could be calling you back live on the show tomorrow night. Yeah. And remember, leave a number, because otherwise I can't get back to you and it's just really embarrassing. But I'll see you after the break. So welcome back to Celebrity Big Brother's Bit on the Side. Still to come, we're going to be looking ahead to tomorrow's mega twist, and our panel are going to be discussing who should go into the secret house. But now, it's time to lower the lights so we can see what's written in the stars. Give it up for our resident star man, Russell Grant!
Thank you, darling.
Right, Russell, let's get straight into it. So you've been looking at some of our housemates and their charts and stuff like that. Let's start with Farrah, because she is the talk on everyone's lips. Let's start with her. What have we got about Farrah?
Well, Farrah doesn't give a flying because, as I said over there, the more you throw at her, the stronger she gets. But the interesting thing about her, she's actually quite traditional.
And I can see she's a Gemini.
She's a Gemini. But when you look at the chart as a whole, there is a lot of Capricorn in the chart, which is very much, strangely enough, a traditionalist. Do you remember one of the things she said when she was in the middle of one of her many fights and rows? I'm a God-fearing woman.
Yes, she did say that.
Do you remember that?
Yeah.
And you see, basically with her, she will fight because she's always found herself with her back against the wall.
Yeah.
You look at the whole reality concept with the, the teenage mum. She's had to fight. She's had to be self-sufficient.
It's how she's built.
And it's how she's built. And so therefore she's grown up. And in many ways she feels that she's alone. There's no one there to help her, so therefore she's got to fight her corner and she's got to strut her stuff and do her thing.
Go on, Russell. He knows what he's talking about. Let's move on to Janice, your mate Janice.
I love
so
Janice.
I'm looking at Janice now. She's an Aquarius.
She's an Aquarian, and I've done the full chart, but of course we haven't got the time, so we can't do the proper astrological chart. But who can forget? From Janice, I'm Henry VIII, I am.
Yeah,
Who can forget tomato, tomato?
Yeah.
Who can forget her putting her legs round her neck?
Well, none of us can forget that one.
And who can forget her being thrilled when someone said, "You are a diva," and she went, "Thank you."
Well, exactly. But what does it mean?
What it means is basically what you see is what you get. I said that again. And she's random, she's glorious. I spent 2 days with her, and it was a spectacular couple of days. She is adorable. And you do want her to smile, but as she said herself, you see, there's no holding back.
No.
She said, the Botox, I can't smile.
We've all been there, I've said
She
it.
is totally random, and I just love the girl. She's somebody that I want to work with again.
We can make that happen. Let's move on to Chloe. Chloe's a Cancer and Stevie is a Virgo.
Right.
Is that a compatible match?
Well, strangely enough, Cancer and Virgo together on general terms, and we're just looking at sun signs, is actually very good.
Oh, OK, good.
But the thing is with Chloe Jasmine, and I put here in big letters, don't underestimate this girl. Oh. She is very, very strong underneath. Now, my very first book that I bought out in 1984... 1984. I'm
Big
so
Brother.
old.
Calling yourself
I know,
Big
it is Big Brother,
Yeah.
you're right.
Go on.
It actually said, give a Cancerian a cuddle a day. It keeps the doctor away. So therefore, she's tactile. She needs the love. She needs the attention.
reassurance.
She needs that because Cancerians are emotionally needy. And you're emotionally needy.
That needy Michelle shouting out again. She's shouting.
Yeah. And that's why in the green room we're always cuddling.
Well done.
Anyway, but basically,
You're fine.
don't underestimate her, because you see, emotions for her are very, very important indeed. And because he is very strongly Virgoan, Virgos are very good at serving up what you need. And if Cancerians need feelings and emotions, they will provide the love. And so what you've got here with these two is there's just something about her, I think there is. Think of a crab, right? You've never had them, I know. Basically, think of a crab. They are tough on the outside, but inside they are like soft as silk.
Yeah.
And so, therefore, there is a toughness about her, and he needs her as much as she needs him.
Oh, we are? They are? Well,
They need
don't
each
shake
other.
your head at Russell Grant. I'm not having that.
They need each other.
Let's move on to James. What are we seeing with James? He's Taurus.
Well, you're seeing with James a gorgeous man.
Oh, well.
He might be Taurian, but there is a lot of Aries in his chart, and that means he's got a toughness. He has a lovely connection between Venus and Uranus, charisma, courtesy.
Let me just stop you. You said he's got a lot of Aries there.
Yes.
Austin is Aries.
Yes.
So, as a sort of bromance, are they compatible? These two signs are very compatible, I hear
They're
you saying.
far more compatible than you could ever imagine.
Put my finger.
Now, do you remember when we did the other Big Brother and I talked about you and your other half,
Yes,
Dan?
I do.
Right.
Yes.
In astrology, the planet Venus is the goddess of love, and she gives love. Now, what you've got in Austin, his Venus is in Taurus. And
hang on,
James's sun is in Taurus, and so therefore Austin's Venus lands straight on James's sun side. And what that means, astrologically, if someone comes to me and says, are two people compatible, you look for the connection between Venus and the sun. And boy, oh boy, these boys have got it.
They are. Well, on that note, give it up for Russell. We need to calm down after that, right? After the break, we're going to be looking ahead to tomorrow's twist that's definitely going to cause a bit of chaos. I'll see you straight after this break. Oh, I love that. Welcome back to Celebrity Big Brother's Bit on the Side. We're going to be talking through tomorrow's big twist in just a minute. But first, I'm going to give you an exclusive. And it seems there might be trouble in paradise after all.
Babe, will you remarry me?
I would, with pleasure.
Mwah.
I adore you.
Okay, I adore you too.
We're still doing it. Did we get cigarettes? Did we get cigarettes?
There's only 2 packs on there, Chloe.
We might do.
You're joking.
Next.
I wish I just stood up for myself and said, please can you take 1 packet of meat off the shopping budget? I'm not going to eat it. Please can I have some cigarettes instead? But I couldn't say that because I was in the diary room.
I know you weren't.
So now I'm
Chloe.
fucked.
You're not fucked. I'll give you mine. That's a promise.
Does he need to have his own?
Chloe, I'm getting 1. Cash is getting 1. I'll give you
Why am I
mine.
not having a packet? I wonder if they could just slip some in.
Well, we can ask the diary room, babe,
So I'm
can't we?
gonna have to go.
No. You're joking, aren't you? Not being funny, babe, but they can't put 10 packets of cigarettes on the shopping list.
Yes,
you
I
know?
know. Oh my god, obviously.
So you can have mine, and then we'll call it that.
It's just like Nadia all over again, isn't it? Big Brother with my cigarette, not funny. Well, listen, this time tomorrow, your votes will have sent 2 of our housemates. We loved it, didn't we? 2 of our housemates into a secret house. However, this twist has a twist. So the celebrities in the main house will know that they're being watched, and suddenly the players are going to become the playees. Do you get what I'm saying? You get what I'm saying? Just thought I'd hit you on the head there with me, mate. Well, listen, we've got just under a minute to talk about each housemate who's up for the vote to go into the secret house. When the time's up, we'll hear this sound. And we will move on. So let's start with Farah. She received 6 nominations, the highest number yet again. Does this mean she would be on fire in the secret house? Start the clock. Russell, what do you think? Would she be good in there?
Yeah, I think she'll be great. I mean, she's there for entertainment. We want Farah there for entertainment. We don't care if she's a good girl or a bad girl. We want her to be in there to give us the work.
George?
I do actually want her in the other little house, the Victory house, because I think it'd be funny to see when the joke's on her, because she'll think she's all winning, and then the joke will be on her and it'll be funny.
Ning?
Absolutely. I mean, you have to start with the premise that the first person in there, and the only person you really want in there, is Farah, because you need to... What's the point of putting Bobby in there? Or Cherie? Who would care if Cherie went in there? You need somebody who's going to stir things up.
Michelle?
Just get her out, get her in.
What do we think? Has Farrah got it in our gone, Paul?
100% Farrah and Jenna in the secret room.
Right, time. Let's move on to Bobby. He was very honest with why he nominated Farrah. Some say too honest. Would he be good in the secret house? Let's start that clock. Nina, will he be good in there?
I don't necessarily think so. I mean, because that was his one moment. You know, he built himself up all these days and then he delivered this speech, which actually went on slightly too long, I thought. You know, fair enough, he gave it to her and we were all cheering, but it went on too long. Just that made it edgy, and I thought, you don't need to do that.
Michelle?
But I don't think he's...
Yeah, I agree. I think that Cut the Bull, Farah's going to be in whether we like it or not, 100%. I will eat my cup if she's not in.
Keep that cup, keep that cup.
And to have her with Bobby would be an absolute waste of votes. So don't waste your votes. Vote for her and Jenna.
You think her and Jenna?
I agree.
What do you think, Russell?
I would love...
Oh! She's talking about eating a cup. Next up, let's talk about Gail. She's really coming out of her shell. She started to speak her mind a lot, but as a consequence, she received 2 nominations. So is she better being a player or a playee? Let's start the clock. George, do you think Gail would do well in there?
No, do you know what? I think she's literally just coming out of her shell. She's bringing her, like, inner Beyonce goddess out at the moment with her black eyeliner and all that.
Loving it. Like, go on, Gail, working.
Why she's comfortable, don't take her out. Leave her in. Because otherwise you've got to have to do all the readjusting again. It ain't going to happen.
Russell?
Leave her.
Oh, Gail is another dear friend of mine. She's the dearest,
Oh, you sound like Lizzie
kindest
Cundy.
girl.
He knows everyone.
I'm old. I've been around for far too long. But Gail is lovely. Just give her a pair of marigolds.
Yes.
A bit of Dettol. And get around the house wherever you want to. Just have her cleaning somewhere.
He's done it again! He's like the Jackson! Well, let's move on to Jenna. She only received 2 nominations. She seems to be very good at going between camps and stirring the pot. Is this the perfect celebrity for the secret house? Let's start the clock. Nina!
Absolutely, she's the perfect celebrity. She is a very, very wise woman. She manipulates. I mean, she is absolutely the professional at this. The Americans make us Brits look like complete amateurs. We're all going, oh, God, I'm nominating him because he took my cigarette. No, they are working tactically, and Jenna is the prime mover. She has got a brain that works there, and she's like a chess player.
But in defence, someone mentioned the other day, if you put Farrah in there with someone else, then Farrah might see Jenna talking about Farrah.
Yeah. But I don't think Jenna would be talking about Farrah. I don't think she would be.
But then she'd know anyway. She'd know anyway.
Yeah, both of them are far too clever to talk about each other.
Oh, we're at time. Well, finally, we've got to move on to Clovey. Can you imagine just being in a secret room with just them 2?
No.
Would it drive the other housemate insane? Let's start the clock. George, Stevie and Chloe.
I can't cope with that. I can't cope. I'm sorry, but I just can't even watch him or look at a picture. I just feel sick. Like, come on, guys.
Well, you're with Tommy. What would you 2 be like?
Oh, my God. Like, we, love each other and we're together. We'd have murders. Like, no, we would. We're a normal couple, and I just think, no, it's too much.
Russell.
Don't like
Stevie
in
and
a room
Chloe.
with those 2, absolutely get them a room, but leave me out of it.
I mean, if you were in a room with those 2, you'd need a sick bucket. You really would. It just drives me insane. I met her here on Bots a year ago, and I thought, what a beautiful girl, and she's from a different era in the 50s and so like that. But now I'm not given to violence, but by God, I can smack her.
Oh, very quickly, going down the panel. Michelle, what 2 housemates do you want to see in the secret house?
Jenna and Farah, hands down.
Nina.
Jenna and Farah.
George.
Oh, no, you're going to say it, but I think Farah and James just stir it up a
little bit. Russell.
James and Austin.
Who do you want to see in there?
Farah and
Try to take your
Natasha.
time.
Oh yeah, mix it up. Farah and Jenna. Farah and Natasha.
Farah and Natasha, definitely.
Has to be Farah and Natasha, two people that hate each other.
Farah and Natasha, yeah.
Jenna and Farah and Jenna. Farah and Jenna. Farah and Jenna.
Time's up. Give yourselves a round of applause. That's all I've got time for tonight. A massive thank you to all of my guests and my fantastic audience. Thank you. Switch over to 5-star now for a bit of live from the house, and make sure to tune in to Big Brother tomorrow night for the live fake eviction. Join me straight after at 10:30, where I'll be joined by my US counterpart Michelle Visage is back. Also, Tuesday's Evict Chris Ellison, Louisa Zisman, and Casey Batchelor. Right now.